San Diego once again with another one of our Comic-Con prep videos. This time we're going to be talking about 5th Street and a little bit of 4th and 6th as well, but just kind of this whole area in the heart of the Comic-Con campus down here at San Diego. So there's been some changes with the new promenade coming in and kind of how they're handling some of the food outside and things like that. But also there's been a lot of changes in terms of what's open and what's closed again and things of that nature. So with that said, let's flip the camera around here and start taking a look at the surrounding area. So as we're recording this, it's been neat today. I don't think we're gonna see it right now because there's not a lot of trolleys. I think the next one's like 8 minutes away or something, but we've been seeing a bunch of trolleys themed up with Futurama and Audible and all of that. Hello there, Andrew. Thank you for the thumbs up. We appreciate that. So the first thing before we actually start making our way into the 5th Street area and just kind of looking at some of the closed and open spots, I know this is something we put on social before, but just to share again for those that maybe don't follow along on Twitter, the no vending zone signs are everywhere, all around this entire area. I feel like every 20 feet you walk, there's a sign. You can see one over there, another one there. So none of the street vendors are allowed. Now, I know we've had some reach out and say, well, are they going to really enforce that during San Diego Comic-Con when there's such a need for food and all of that stuff? Obviously, we don't know. Just the same as in the past, you can see across there too, there's a bunch of signs about none of the scooters and things like that out here. We'll see how much is actually enforced or not, but I know that can change things for a lot of people because there's many that rely upon it. And I know we found last year that just with the worker shortages, there was a lot of spots there that were just closing earlier than normal. And we know we've heard from a lot of people that use the street vendors to grab some quick food. So may not be an option this year, but we will only know once Comic-Con hits. So we'll start making our way here up 5th Street. And we'll say, if you've not checked out, we did a quick eats video that goes into more areas of this downtown San Diego area and shows a little bit more of some of our tips. But this video, we're hoping to kind of show like what's here, what's not here, and all that nature. So obviously Mickey's at the Gaslamp maintains. Today, the unofficial blog put a tip out about booking those reservations for some spots if you have like favorite restaurants, you just want to make sure you have a spot somewhere, and this is obviously a good time to do it. And a few of the spots we'll go by are those types of places that do accept reservations. Now, Mary Jane's is still here. They have had incredibly limited hours in the last few months. Con season is here with you 100%. But Mary Jane's, like, it's been closing at 7 and 8 on a lot of the days that we're here, so I'm not sure what their hours will be during Comic-Con. We'd hope that it's much extended, but if it's one of your spots, you can plan accordingly. They do have their menu of current offerings. They continue to be a pricey location, but I know for us, when they would do their overlays all these years, like the Expanse and Ascension and things like that, it was very much a Comic-Con staple to try at least one time. We've got Spaghetti Factory's back. We can vouch that they are as good as ever because we just ate there a few weeks ago. So on this side over here, just a couple spots. The spot that we've seen like bells pop up is nothing's there again, so it's primed for being taken over there. You've got the opticians there, and then Heavenly Couture also gone. Primes real estate for some sort of offsite to buy out. We'll see if that happens or not. And then Escape Game looks like a really fun escape room spot that we actually are really excited has kind of added into the Gaslamp. We're guessing it's going to be quite busy during Comic-Con. We'll move across here so you can see kind of windows. I believe they are a chain of escape rooms. But we've heard nothing but good things about them, and we're excited to experience it during San Diego. You can book your reservations now. They have, I believe, 4 different game options. Hello. They're waving hi. Some of the artwork in here. All right, on the corner here, unfortunately, this spot remains closed. So Toscana, we know, is also a Comic-Con tradition for some. It is long gone. There was a new location. In fact, last time we were here, there was a sign right here from, I don't know if it's the city or I guess the property owners, that there's a new chicken spot coming in, but they were behind on rent, like 3 months or something. And so it is empty. What a fantastic spot for some brand to come and take over. Oh, they gave, all right, here are the escape room options. They ran out to give us a flyer here. So the Depths, Gold Rush, Special Ops, and Prison Break, 60-minute escape room adventures. theescapegame.com/San Diego. The best way to spend an hour. All right, so if you're not familiar with the promenade work that is underway, it's a big project here, and it's going to stretch from L all the way down to Broadway. And the idea is making it into 8 distinct neighborhoods with added like flowers and sculptures and just kind of walkways and taking down curbs. And you can see the expanded seating that came as a result of the pandemic. Then it was like going to go away. This time last year was like, is it going to be happening? Will they be allowed to keep their spots there? Some places could, some couldn't, whatever it was. There was all sorts of fees associated. Now it's going to be more permanently a place to walk through. So I would think for San Diego Comic-Con over the next few years, that's going to be a helpful thing of it, making it a little bit easier to traverse here, because it really is going to go away from being as much of a street as more of a walk-through location. Now let's pull off to the side real quick here. We're on the back side of the Hilton Gaslamp. Obviously no wraps yet, unfortunately, but they'll be coming. Patsina Cafe, we covered this in our Quick Eats video. It is one of our favorite, it probably is our favorite Quick Eats spot in San Diego. They have a deli in there that makes fresh sandwiches, but it does have limited hours as well. So they have BLTs that are incredible, like egg sandwiches, kind of like Egg McMuffin style stuff, but all really good, like croissant sandwiches, things of that nature. Really good, quick spot. And I feel like everybody we've ever encountered in there is like super nice, and the prices are like really good for anything in the Gaslamp, whether it's food or just grabbing like a bottle of water or soda or whatever it might be. They just seem really great over there. So highly recommend supporting that small business there. All right, so the closed down streets here and what we have open. Generally speaking, all the time we're in San Diego now, we can just walk straight up the middle here. And these, there was a whole ceremony and learned that they're called bollards, which I had not heard that word before, but that basically is a way to close off the street kind of officially and give it a barrier there. So those are now official. But we do have Rockin' Baja returns here. We have enjoyed that spot, liked it. We've never been to this Italian place. Can't vouch for it. Obviously, we should say as we're going, if you've been to any of these spots that you particularly like or don't like, let people know in the comments to help guide them, because we have our spots down here that we go to more often than others. Cerveza Jack's comes back. Now, Happy Does last year became part of the 10 Forward Star Trek. So we'll see if anything happens with it this year, but the bar and restaurant returns. We have not been there yet. Drink a beer, sing a song, make a friend. And they do have the outdoor seating area as well. Three weeks ago, hello there, Chad. It's crazy to think 3 weeks from now, this is all Comic-Con. Sevilla's, not been to this one, but have been to Sevilla's and have enjoyed it. Very pricey in the 1 or 2 times we've ever been to one. But I think a lot in the Gaslamp is very pricey, so not a surprise there. Off the bench, sneaker and apparel. The Wine Bank returns. They usually do some fun theming in their windows there. 10 Forward looked great. We did not do 10 Forward at Comic-Con. We did do it in LA and it was fun, but the one at San Diego looked even better than the one that we did. All right, here we've reached the Pendry. We saw some really great wraps go up there last year with Interview with the Vampire, and we know wraps are coming back there again because the unofficial blog interviewed Cap Media and they talked about it. And so we're excited to check that spot out. Love the wraps making their way deeper into the Gaslamp. Huntress Steak and Whiskey Society, we've never been, don't know anything about it, but it is there. And then we'll go up one more block. Actually, let's talk about Buca de Beppo's over here real quick before we continue on 5th. So,
Still no banners.
Still no banners. No, Chad, no banners. And it's really annoying. It's really, really annoying. Because that's part of, obviously, like the wraps, it's just part of the Comic-Con campus. And they're not here yet. These are our banners right now. This is as good as it gets, which concur, the good times do start here, but would like to see a Comic-Con logo on those. So should make a note over here, Gaslamp Social, this whole area has been zoned now to be a new hotel. I believe a 12-story hotel's what it said in the windows there. I was just looking at their kind of construction permits and stuff, but it seems all out of play this year, so I don't think we're going to be seeing any off-site activations or things like that. But did want to point out, so Dupar's, the former Dupar's, which we enjoyed quite a bit, is slated to become a Buca de Beppo, and they've been slated to become a Buca de Beppo since before this time last year. And every time we've been down here, it's pretty much been dormant from what we could see externally. And all of a sudden, in the last couple weeks, there's been a lot of movement. And you can see actually all this paint happening. So it's still got the old Dupar's sign, but there is work going on inside. And maybe Buca de Beppo will be there for this Comic-Con, maybe. Maybe if not, Comic-Con 2024, who knows? But definitely it's now on our radar to kind of keep an eye out because it's just kind of sat there not moving. If you watched our Seaport Village video last week, some similar spot or two over there as well, where just some of these things haven't been able to get up off the ground. All right, CVS. We know that's a must stop for a lot of people, particularly those flying in that might be staying down here. Relatively decent prices when it comes to things like food and drinks and stuff if you're picking up stuff down there. Again, these no vending zone signs, they continue really as far as we've walked anywhere in the Gaslamp area. It's been pretty aggressive with the signage there. So this area also with the expanded seating options for the Pendry. Provisional has their extra seating area there. Obviously on this side with CVS, we don't have that. We do have the souvenir shops returning. It's Sugar. There is the Bank of America ATM up here. Quicksilver store, Skechers. Marshmallow, will the restaurants continue with outside dining during Comic-Con? I would believe so. I think that will definitely happen. We haven't talked to any of these places specifically, but would imagine so. It seems like with the transition, whereas a year ago it seemed very much up in the air, now this year it seems like actually transitioning to make it more helpful to those that have outdoor seating versus the fines that were threatened a year ago. It seems like more kind of evolving this entire area to be walkways permanently and being more of a thoroughfare. So Fifth and Island, one thing we always say about Fifth and Island is in our experiences at Comic-Con, if we're willing to walk this far, or if you're staying out down this way, this next block, it just feels like there's a lot more options that are a little bit less in terms of lines. So I've been over to the Gaslamp Pizza before down there. It's a Thai kitchen. There's a great burger spot on the left about halfway up the block as well. Prince Street Pizza, we did a video about them that's on our playlist as well if you're interested in checking out. They have really incredible pizza, although they get busy just because they are who they are. But you can go down that way. There's some good offerings as well. And we'll see what else in terms of will activations appear down there. Now, we're going to make our way down towards 6th. And then we'll come back up that side of the street there. We'll because there's not really a ton over on the 4th Street. And again, we can go further out over in the old Horton area, but again, a lot's changed. I mean, we used to go and do a whole update on like Horton Plaza area, and now Horton is basically gone as it relates to the stuff we do with Comic-Con, at least. Gaslamp Barbecue, we've never been there, but always hear great things about it. More no vending zones. Taco Cilantro, or Taco Centro. Have not eaten there. So if you're curious about the offsite that was announced for the Lanford Lunchbox, to give you an idea of where it's at, we are here on Island. It is on E. So basically if you come to 6th, and we would go down here another couple blocks, and you'll find it. And so currently it's just a parking lot. It seems to be taking the place in one of the Laz parking zones, which honestly looks not too much bigger than this parking lot right here. So it looks smaller than the concept video that went out, but we may just be misreading it. But they said 6th and E. It is continuing down that way. We're gonna make our way this way, but you get a sense of kind of where it is. So would imagine it might have a little bit shorter lines because it's such a walk, but you obviously have to plan in the time for that. Nova, way back here as well. They are still doing their concert series and things like that. Not sure. Maybe they've already had tickets and are sold out for San Diego Comic-Con week. I'm not positive, but they are definitely a location that can play into all of this. So we'll make our way up here to Broken Yoke. And if there are any questions, feel free to throw them in. We'll do our best with them. We'll hit some favorite spots. We'll hit a divisive spot. Great suggestion, great tip. Checking those shuttle stops, see if there's a spot that fits for you. I know for ourselves, we haven't done it. I don't know, it's been a couple Comic-Cons that we haven't done it, but for us, we do drive down from home up in the Inland Empire. But for us, we would usually like to eat away from the Gaslamp because it was just kind of getting outside the bubble for a minute. So we'd go to like Old Town San Diego or things like that. So this one, they've got a game room, arcade, but I've not seen the sign of what their actual name is there. Oh, I guess it's part of Mason's Hall. There we go. So actually, this is the entry to it. Looks like a fun spot. We are not familiar with it. Mason's Beer Hall. It's like a fun kind of Patty's Brewery type vibe to it. All right, on the corner here, again, there's a number of food options if you're making the walk down past where to kind of, for those that aren't as familiar, we're on the other side of Petco there. So actually down there, we're gonna walk near the side of Petco, but this is like on the back side of Petco if we're thinking about the backside being away from the convention center. No, we've not tried that. No, we've not. Gaslamp Breakfast Company. I've heard lots of good things about them. Another spot we've not tried. I think we've got like a number of spots we love to eat down here, but it just feels like there's never enough time to eat at them all. So this has definitely been one that's been on our list, the Breakfast Company as well, but not visited yet. This was also a spot of a famous Panda Express that popped up for Comic-Con one year. You remember that?
How hard is it to get a ticket to Comic-Con?
How hard is it to get a ticket to Comic-Con? It is pretty difficult, particularly if you don't have like a group of friends or family working together to try to help each other to get into Comic-Con. There's the Breakfast Company again. It is something to start the process like a year in advance. So making a Comic-Con membership ID is the first step. And I know a lot of people we find that are interested in Comic-Con start being interested in it a month or two before Comic-Con, but the reality is now would be the time to make a member ID for next year to be ready. That said, this could be a great year to come down and just take a day and check out the Gaslamp and see all the offsite stuff that doesn't require a badge and get a feel for the crowds and see if it's the type of thing that even works for you.
There's the eBay auction.
Oh yeah, and then Carmelo said there's the eBay auctions as well, which the badges are quite expensive that way, but Comic-Con International would make sure not to buy from anybody that's not Comic-Con International, but they have their badge auctions up right now over on eBay. So across the way, Broken Yoke, definitely a spot we've eaten at several times. I like particularly when they get their takeovers. I'm a sucker for any of these takeovers. Like when they used to have the hub and had all the Hasbro theming. Love that. Greek Fusion, it's another spot we've not visited, as well as Moonshine Flats. But 2 more offerings that look like fun kind of bar atmospheres over here. All right, gonna navigate around the parking back up here. Make our way down here. So over here, this is parking on 6th and K. That's where some will park to go do drop-offs like at the Omni or Hard Rock, or just stow their cars there because of the limited parking. And across the way here is a spot that we have found has been one of the biggest lightning rods of controversy in San Diego Comic-Con history. That subway right there. We find that you all feel very strongly about loving it or hating it. We've never, I don't think, eaten there. Maybe we ate there like once long ago. I don't know. It's not really a spot that we've had, but anytime we post anything about that subway, it gets flooded with very strong feelings about it. So if you are pro Subway or pro this subway, it says it's open 24 hours now. I do know we've experienced and seen just from walking by that they do raise their prices. And I know some people are not fans of that and understand all that, but it is there if you want it. And it's interesting back here, there's like a meeting room and it all looks kind of perfect for its own little activations spot here at the Hilton. But I don't recall, I'm sorry, at the Hard Rock, but I don't recall it ever being used. There was last year in this window some great just superhero, like Star Wars, Star Trek stuff, like a month out. We keep waiting for it to appear. It had nothing to do with anything. It was just like some employees of the Hard Rock decided to decorate a little bit on their own. But nothing has popped up like that so far this year. At this point, all the decor that you can count on is the trolley wraps. And there are seemingly a little bit less trolley wraps this year than normal. I know it's been bigger windows of time in between them. We're seeing them a lot more regularly. I mean, we've seen, I think, 3 today. And it's not like we've just kind of sat at the trolley station, so I'm sure we missed a lot more. But I feel like normally by this time, it's a little bit more present. And we're seeing a lot of advertisements for Mexico, to visit Mexico. A lot of advertisements for UC San Diego. Lots of advertisements for Paula Casino. And lots of advertisements for the Padres on those trolleys. So not your typical Comic-Con fare there. Actually, let's see. That one's San Diego Zoo. And red. And yep, no fun stuff on that one. Oh, here we go. There's Paramount Plus coming. So there's something fun. All right, as we make our way back around, we do have Baja Rick's. It's taking the place of our famous tin fish there. Some good food there. A little pricey in general, but definitely very convenient, right in the middle of the Comic-Con campus. Obviously, we don't have announcements yet. For example, will NBC back here, with NBC Universal being here for Comic-Con Special Edition? I would imagine so. Being at Comic-Con last year, I would imagine so, but nothing official yet. Here's more from these wraps. So Paramount Plus, we've got Lower Decks, Bumblebee, Strange New Worlds, Evil, Tulsa King, 1923, Dungeons & Dragons, School Spirits, Yellow Jackets, iCarly. Some Comic-Con love right there. All right, and we've made our way back to where we began this journey. It's a good spot there. Be wrapping up this. If there's any last questions, go ahead and throw them in now, and then we'll be wrapping up, and then we'll be back at 6:30 this evening. If you're interested in talking about our day in San Diego and some of the news from the week and things like that.
Mikey asked you got lucky with Adult Swim today.
Adult Swim. So Adult Swim, we did get the Gendy Tartakovsky nighttime. It was like the music, the concert part of it, none of the appearances. They were all gone by the time we saw it. We'll talk more about Adult Swim later today on the evening show that we're going to do, but I'm very excited they're back, because to me that's one of those things that's incredibly Comic-Con. Even though we haven't done a lot of Adult Swim offsite stuff over the years, it is so Comic-Con to me. So thank you very much for coming back, and thank you, Mikey, for the question there. Fandom party tickets, to my, at least as we went on recording this, there was no announcement yet as to when those would be going up. If you're not familiar with the party, that is where it takes place, right up there on top of the Hard Rock. It has really one of the best views, if not the best view we've ever seen at anything at Comic-Con, and is a very popular party that's open to fans, but very sometimes tedious and time consuming to get tickets to, because they'll say, okay, tickets are going to go up tomorrow on our social media, and then it becomes a race, or actually an endurance race of just all day refreshing away there. So, but we'll throw that in and talk a little bit about that tonight as well. So with that said, we're going to wrap this one up. If you haven't already, please like the video, share the video. We appreciate the support very, very much. And we'll see some of you back later today when we talk about the rest of our day in San Diego and the news and all of those things. So until next time, we'll see you in line somewhere.